I told you that you only had 2 things that you had to do today? 2 things that you have to accomplish. Sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, you might have a task list, you might have a directive from your boss, you might have family obligations and duties that you have to fulfill, but there are really only 2 things that we are commanded to do. And that is love God and love others. And you're like, okay, yes, but I still have things to do. But loving God and loving others are the 2 commandments that we are commanded by God to do. In Matthew 22 and verses 37 to 40, it says, "You shall love the Lord your God with all of your heart and your soul and your mind. And this is the first and great commandment. The second is like unto it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself." Those 2 things, God's saying, if you do those things, you're fulfilling the law. Those 2 things. But if you think about it, all the things that you have to do, all of the tasks and all of the things that you have to take care of, if you will filter them through the commandments of loving God and loving others, then you are truly having a fulfilled day. You're truly having fulfillment because you are fulfilling the 2 commandments that God has given you, is to love God and love others. Whatever you do, whoever you face, you should approach it with loving God and loving others. When you are talking with a coworker, remember that you are commanded to love others. And what does that look like? What should that look like? And then we are commanded to put God first. Love your God. That means putting him first. That means getting your marching orders from him through prayer. Love God and love others, and filter all of those to-do lists, all of those tasks through those 2 things, loving God and loving others. You know, all those coffee lovers out there, what do you do when you make coffee? You use a filter, right? You're going to filter your coffee in a coffee maker, or you're going to use a filter and pour hot water over it, whatever. You're going to use a filter. Why? Because coffee grounds are gross. Okay? Nobody wants to drink their coffee with coffee grounds floating around them. I mean, not me. Maybe there are some people. But I'm just saying, generally, they're gross, okay? And our task list and our daily grind can seem really disgusting and gross at times. But when we filter it through loving God and loving others, then it makes sense. So let your day and your week make sense by fulfilling the only 2 commandments that you really have to worry about: loving God and loving others.